This is Karl-James Langford reporting for Archaeology Cymru in the Rhondda. This is the YSTRAD mill. It's believed to have monastic origins. It's well known in local people's memory from their childhood, actually. It's obviously been converted. It's a bit of a boundary wall. I've already had a look. Can't really make out signs of monasticism here, but this is the site. The river would be just behind me. Can't really see anything behind me because loads of trees. But the river itself behind me, as I'm filming, is about no more than about 50 metres away, and it's at the back of the railway. So there you go, Arriva Trains, Wales train, and that's going to be history soon as well. So if we go into the site now, we can see the walls. You've got ground floor and first floor showing, and new one on me. I've never been to this site before, and as I'm stumbling through, I've got a bit of a mine rail there, probably dating back to about Victorian period maybe. And as we're looking here, I've spoken to other people about this site, and they say that some of the sort of thresholds and the lintels for the doorways were actually still standing about 30-40 years ago. I know Brian, who goes to my Rhondda class, he probably won't be watching this, says he used to play here when he was a child. They used to actually come out on school trips here because the link with the Penrhys Monastery, actually. So the grinded stones are near here. I know I'm a bit vague about, obviously we've got conversion into some kind of house. The elite for the mill has long since dried up into a bit of the dark here, but obviously we can see that I'm actually the ground floor, not in ground floor level, sort of top of the ground floor level, and you can see the beams on the left there, and you've got part of the fireplace for ground floor there, the flue, and that there is part of the fireplace for, actually it's not. So yeah, actually the fireplace for the first floor must be on the other side, because that looks like it would have been completely covered in the wall from the first floor. Usually houses would share the same escape flue for a fireplace. Obviously not on this first floor here. Anyway, sorry for the ramblings. It's likely that the doorway would be here, which would basically be adjacent to the fireplace on the ground floor as you entered. So as we float around, various bits and pieces here. Another doorway here. Ground floor again. Obviously this ground floor has been completely filled in. More that bit's been added on probably a later date. It's difficult to get my dates on this structure because it's all really higgledy-piggledy. Structurally, lots of features from the 1800s, 1700s here. As I say, signs of monasticism. Thicker walls, can't really see at this stage, but here, that's a sign that the ground floor in this part of the building has actually been, yeah, so there's a void underneath where I'm standing now. So if it collapses on camera, whoever puts this on YouTube can say I collapsed into the ground floor. So that's another threshold on the first floor of the structure. So as we sort of loop around here, I think on the left, as we're looking here now, this is where the leak would have been. You know, when this was a mill site. And we're just panning around. If anyone's going to make comments about this, just don't be overcritical, because I haven't been here before. I just wanted to bring this to people so anyone can make positive comments about this. We've got a bit of a, as it's zooming in there, well, you can't really see it, sorry. Over in that direction you can see a bit of a curved lintel, if you can see it. can't really get over there, it's overgrown. Busy train. Train coming through again. That's going to be, me being a train geek, that's going to be a 143 unit Reaver Trains Wales rolling stock, which is, most of it's about 40-50 years old. Anyway, little railway fact there. There's a sort of looping around here. There's no sort of, there's no really, what am I looking for? There's no sort of wild varieties of ground plants that I can actually see around here. Not that I'm exactly looking, but they'd be a bit more obvious by now. They'd be flowering. So that would indicate the site's extensive disturbance over the years. You can get a good idea here. So as we're looking there, we're looking up to the first floor there. So that's a bit of a window or narrow doorway. A bit of a blockage here. You can see the top bit of the lintel there, and it comes down to a bit of a sill. Lots of really interesting features at this site. So as we go up there, that's then going up to the second floor. It's a really tall building. Anyway, I wanted to bring this to everybody, so we'll stick this on the page. Any comments? Let's just keep them positive. If I've got things right or wrong, then it doesn't really matter. Just comment. Anyway, this is Karl-James Langford for Archaeology Cymru in the Rhondda. Thanks for watching.